Well, hey there, everyone, and welcome to today's VIP Trade Room with Roger Scott and Matt Horton. Now, my name is Raleigh White, and I'm coming to you live from Austin, Texas, and I'm going to be your moderator today. Now, in today's session, folks, Roger is going to be covering a wide range of topics, including how he selects day trades and swing trades for the pit, the different types of trading setups he trades and why, how the morning VIP and how the morning and VIP rooms helps him identify the current market structure, why options are an afterthought, why the general market always comes first with Roger, and why this is the biggest mistake that non-pros make. Staying away from chop and noise when picking stocks, respecting the long and short-term trends, time spreads and non-directional market cycles. My gosh, he's covering everything here. Which options to select for the underlying asset, how he uses the watch list for identifying pit trades, how he uses volume profile to help identify value areas. And then, folks, he's going to answer some questions that came in from this weekend's mailbag. And he's also going to wrap up with an in-depth review of the trading pit. So, my gosh, he has got a major agenda for you here today. So I hope everybody brought a pad and a sharp pencil because there's going to be an awful lot of information that he's going to be sharing. Now, something else I want to share with you folks is that if you've got questions during the presentation, please type them in the chat window and we will address them periodically throughout the presentation. I think Roger's going to be turning the chat off so that it's not so much of a distraction. I'm going to be keeping an eye on what's going on, and every now and then he's going to stop and I'll say, Roger, here's some questions that came in on that topic. Let's address those now and then move on. So I think that's going to be great. So once again, we have a terrific session that's going to be planned for you today. And once again, for those of you that are longtime fans of Roger and the VIP trade room, you know what to expect, and it's just going to be more of the same. I'm delighted to be here. Good to see everyone here. Uh, Raleigh, how's the Austin heat? Actually, to tell you the truth, it has been for us here in Austin a relatively mild summer. What I mean by that is I can't honestly think of many more than maybe one day over 100 so far. And we've also been much wetter than normal, which is always good for us because we could use all the water we get and that we can get here in Central Texas, setting the floods aside. But anyway, everything is going well here. Now, I enjoyed this morning's opening session with Roger, I think as we all did. And I thought I would just take this time to basically say, hey, sort of like a little bit of a pop quiz for everybody. Now, you know that Roger spent a line talking about catalysts. And today he started by saying, can anybody tell me what today's fundamental catalysts are? So that's my question to the group here. If you were there in the room, if you took some notes, what are the fundamental catalysts that Roger had his eye on today? And the definition of a catalyst was something that's known, but the market hadn't reacted to it yet. And of course, we're talking about discussions that happened pre-market. So once again, from that perspective, there were several, there were actually four that I took note of that are worth keeping an eye on that were fundamental catalysts. Any suggestions, guys? Any ideas? Any thoughts here? I'm keeping an eye on the chat panel. And rather than keep everyone in suspense, he basically said, look, I've got to keep an eye on Spotify and Tesla. I'm also going to be looking at factory orders, and I'm also going to be focused on TSM and ON. So those were stocks that have earnings that are coming out or earnings that were just shared that have the potential to be fundamental catalysts. And that was really interesting is a little bit later on in the presentation, when he was showing a chart of the SPY, he said, what's the number one thing that traders are going to be focused on today when looking at that chart of the SPY? And of course, at that point in time, he was looking at the gap area. And that point was 626.31. And we do know that the SPY has moved through that level since the open. And that's a pretty significant move on his part. And I know he's going to cover that in some more detail. The other thing was this is that Roger always does a terrific job of telling you some stocks that he's got his eyes on. And when he was initially he started talking about small caps and the small caps that he has his eyes on that he shared with everybody this morning. And I'm just going to post this in the chat for you all to see was Verb, CLYM, and NAAS. He was basically saying, look for those to break out. Verb above 15, CLYM above 175, and NAAS above 3.76. And as we were signing off this morning, Verb was already at 20. I mean, it was taking off like a rocket ship. But those are the small caps that he said he had his eyes on. Now, the other thing that I took note of this morning was that Roger also talks about charts, stocks that look good to him, going long and going short. And when he was looking at the shorts, I'm going to post this for everyone to see. Here are the shorts that he had his eyes on this morning. Okay. And he was basically looking at, I didn't note specific levels on all the stocks that he talked about, but on UHS, he says look for a breakout below 160.82 and look for Lulu to break below the 8 EMA. But when he was taking a look at stocks to take a look at from the short side, those are the ones that he had selected for today. Now, on the flip side, taking a look at those that he liked going long, I'm going to share those with you here as well. And I love it that Roger does this. He takes us all through that. Once again, he brings up his charts. He talks about what's going on and his stocks on the long side. You see them there, BWA, AEP, INSM, LHX. For NEM, once again, look for it to break above 64. Johnson & Johnson, look for it to break above 168.74. And those were the recommendations that I noted. So, folks, when I come on in the morning and I look to moderate this show before actually Roger comes on live, I'll recap some of these things that came up in the morning session because, once again, he's going to refer to these in the VIP session, and I want to make sure that everybody here has the opportunity to see what Roger talked about in the morning open. So let me go up here and say, yeah, a bunch of people here in the room, ton of people here in the room. Good to see everybody. And once again, I know that Roger's going to be here with us shortly, along with Matt. And as I said, he's got a very, very full agenda that he's going to be covering today. And once again, I mean, seriously, from the top, how he selects day trades and swing trades for the pit. That's probably the number one question that a lot of people ask about the trading pit is how does he select those? Which are the different types of trading setups that he likes and why? He's also going to tell us, how just being in the morning in the VIP room helps him identify the current market structure. And as you know, Roger is just huge on making sure we all understand market structure before we even think about an underlying stock or trading an option. He's also then, along those same lines, is going to say, let me tell you why options should be an afterthought and not a forethought. He's also going to basically talk about why it's so important to have this general market understanding and why that comes first before you do anything else. And this is the biggest mistake that beginners or non-pros take when trading options. He also is going to share with us techniques from staying away from chop and noise when picking stocks. That's pretty huge. How to respect long and short trends. He's also going to talk about time spreads and non-directional market cycles, which options to select for an underlying asset, how he uses the watch list for identifying pit trades, how he uses volume profile to identify value areas. And then, like he said, folks, he's got several questions that came in over the weekend, and he's going to be answering a few of those live with us today. Let's call that what came in the weekend's mailbag. And he selects the ones that he think are the most salient, and he'll address those with the group. And then today, when we're all done, he's going with the VIP session, he's going to do an in-depth review of the trading pit, what it is, how it works, its benefits, things of that nature. So we really have a pretty big day planned for you. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier, if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them in the chat window, and we're going to address these periodically through the presentation. And what we mean by that is this, is that as questions come in, I'm going to take note of those. Roger's going to stay away from the chat so that he can focus on the presentation, and then we'll be pausing periodically and address questions that have come up. And we think that's going to be great for the flow of things. And I'll be with him throughout not only the VIP room, but also on the presentation on the trading pit. So just great to see everyone here. I'm delighted to be here, and I see that we've got, I think Roger's coming into the room here, and Matt is always is here in the room. And once again, I'm delighted to be with you here as well. So we really do have a fantastic session all lined up for you, and we can't wait to get started, which we should be doing right about now. It is high noon on the East Coast, and one of the things that I mentioned a little bit earlier that Roger said when he brought up the SPY on the technical charts, he says, "What's the number one technical catalyst that people will be looking at?" Well, they should be focused on the 626.31 area, that price level, because once again, that's the gap area. And in fact, if my chart's not lying to me, we have moved through that on an intraday basis, and perhaps Roger will talk about the importance of that with everybody here in the room. So once again, delighted to be here. We do have a great crowd here. I would like to say hello to everybody, but there's 350 of you. And that's going to take a while, but I think you know who you are, and we love that you're here. I also like the fact that the chat is open to everyone. And folks, you know the rules. Just respect, once again, just respect everybody that's here in the room. We're here as a community. We're here to help each other. And so there are no silly questions, and let's just be polite with everyone. But if you want to share something with the room, a trade that you took or a result that you have or a testimonial or whatnot, publish it to everyone, because, we'll all share that way. And I think that's fantastic. And with that, I think we do have Roger in the room here. Roger, if you're there with us, say hi.
I'm right here. I'm just getting everything situated. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah, no problem whatsoever.
I just
That's
wanted to
that.
put on YouTube. I just wanted to put on YouTube and get it ready to go. And
Oh, okay. Yeah.
that's what I was doing. Matt, put your camera on. What are you doing over there? I want to see your mug.
Let's see the Matt mug.
This is my only chance to see Matt. So, folks, I wanted to make a major announcement. I told Raleigh that I was going to make a major announcement today, and so I'm going to make this announcement. So, a lot of you over the last couple of years absolutely love this room, but the constant negative feedback and I get, it's never about trades, which is a great thing. It's always about how I'm always answering questions in the middle and interrupting myself in the middle of my class. Honestly, that's the biggest complaint I get. That's the only complaint I really get, which is a good thing. So we decided to do something really, really cool. And in a nutshell, Raleigh is now going to be the official moderator of not only our webinars, as you guys all know, he's been doing that for years now, but he's also going to be the moderator of this room. So he will be dealing with all the questions, all the answers, all the comments, all the posts, so that I can really focus and teach. So sometimes I may close the room, sometimes I may leave it open. This is not a so if I'm not as friendly or if I'm not as talkative to you personally, please don't take offense. I'm only doing this so that I could spend time teaching and helping and getting everything done. So
Right.
please don't take this personally, and you can always send me an email, but I may not be as approachable as I have been before, because I want to help everybody in this room. I think this is for the benefit of everybody. We
Mhm.
can always say hello to each other, but I only have a limited amount of time to teach you, and I have always a lot to teach you. And from the look of this, it sounds like everybody's very happy about this.
Mhm.
So I didn't see one person saying it was bad. So it was a long time in coming, and I was protesting the idea the whole time. I'm just messing around, but it's really the best thing that could possibly happen, because I could now focus on doing that. So the way we're going to do it is this: if I'm teaching you something, and if something is directly questioning what I'm teaching you, in other words, it's highly relevant, Raleigh will interrupt me and say, "Hey, Roger, like four people is this right or is this? Can you, which is adding to the conversation, which is what I want. If you have
Right.
just other questions that are not relevant to exactly what I'm talking about right now, and please don't get me wrong, I love conversation as long as it's hyper targeted, relevant, and accurate. But if you want to answer something else, then he's gonna take note of those questions, either answer for you or basically he'll moderate the room. And if we miss something, you can always send me an email, roger@rogerscott.com. So real simple rules, no monkey business. He's going to moderate the room, and I think this is right. So I think everybody's happy, and Raleigh will also be reposting the money the telegrams and all. I mean the excuse me, not the telegram.
Testimonials that come up
Thank
and
you,
all
sir.
of
I'm
that
so
stuff.
sorry.
Yeah.
Testimonials, Telegram, it's all, Slack, Zoom,
Those T
it's
words.
all too much, too much. I just want to trade. So, anyway, that's the rules, folks. And that's the good news. That's the exciting news I had for you. This is nothing bad. I'm not going to
No.
start charging you money. It's nothing like that. It's just, we just want to make the room better for everybody. That's all. That's all I wanted to say. Okay. All right. So let's begin. I have a very, very big agenda for you today. And I want to teach you guys quite a lot of stuff. I'm just putting on TC 2000. While I'm putting on to TC 2000, while it's getting going in the background, which really doesn't take very long. Oh, NVIDIA. That was the alert for the target. So we had a trade in the pit. We took NVIDIA this morning. If you made money on NVIDIA, that is terrific. That is great.
Mm.
You can post it in the Telegram channel. Please do that. Here, just put this. Now, yes, you guys can see my screen. Okay, so first things first. The market's looking absolutely fantastic right now. Market internals, everything's looking very peachy. And folks, this is not education. This is analysis. Okay, so as you could see here, we're approaching the 8-day moving average. This is the daily chart of the SPY. Okay, this is the daily. This is the 5-minute, and this is the daily. And the problem is, if this is a real move, then all this is just to fill in the gap. To move here, let me explain to you. Let me show you a picture so you could see. Here's my concern. Okay, here's my concern. My concern is this: we break down, we come right here, and then we bounce back down. You guys understand what the problem is? Big, big concern. So we have to make sure that we have to be very nimble right now, and we have to trade stocks that are above the 8-day EMA, that are very strong above the 8-day EMA. Otherwise, and are clearly outperforming the market. That goes without saying. To be able to do that, but this is what I'm in fearful, and I want to. So what I want to do is I want to exclude this, and I'm not going to be able to exclude this pattern. So here you could see it even more so. I'm not going to be able to exclude this pattern unless the SPY starts giving me a couple of closes right here with good volume. Okay, so I'm hoping this does not happen. This is the current trajectory. I'm hoping it does not happen. And as you could see, we're literally trading right there, but we haven't gotten above that area yet. And if we can't get above that yellow line, that's a problem. So we got to start trading in here for me to start trusting the upside and want to leave some trades on. Okay. And I'm talking about the broad market right now. Okay. So, and the QQQs, that's a great question, actually. I was so focused on this so far. Let's take a look at that. The QQQs are there already. Now, assuming the QQQs continue moving higher today and close there, and then tomorrow morning open there, we have good confirmation. And I would be even willing to take some today. Now, one of the reasons why I took NVIDIA was because it was looking a lot more like the QQQ. Look at how NVIDIA was looking. That's what I want to see from the broad market. See how NVIDIA is looking? That's why I went long NVIDIA. And we already made money. We got out. If you're still holding it, I gave you levels in the pit. You're good with that. And that was a pit trade. But point here is not making money on NVIDIA right now. Point is to show you the kind of price action I want to see out of the SPY for me to feel warm and fuzzy about this market going back higher. Till then, it's going to be very stop and go. Okay, because again, look at what the market is looking like right now. And again, notice everything I'm doing is based on the daily chart, not the intraday chart. This is an afterthought, like what option strike price we bought. So so we need to see this market get ahead. Now, while we're here already, also let me look at mags, and I'll refer back to what we're talking about now when we go deeper into the session. But you see how right now we're coming back. I want to see us take out this high. Okay, Friday's high on the mega caps. That'll go a long way. That will go a long way. SMH. I want to see us closing above the 8-day. Obviously, we're already above this level. So I want to go close above the 8-day EMA today with gusto, strength.
Yep.
A swing trade at the end of the day would look lovely if everything stays like this and actually looks just like this at the end of the day. But so far, we've been looking fantastic. Market internals. Now, this is where the VOLD, remember I said VOLD when it moves directionally, like this. This is a directional VOLD move. But when if VOLD right now starts going, forget it. Here's the other really cool thing about today. Look at ADD. We opened up at 1300 or somewhere around there, and we went up to 1720, and we haven't stopped going down. That means we have not only a lot of stocks opened above Friday's close, but more added to that. So that means the overnight market is not tricking us. That means there's actually something there. So very, very important. So, and I'll come back to all of this. Okay. Why Nvidia better than AVO? I'll come back to that, Vlad. And the answer is it might not have been better, and I'll come back to that. I'll come back to that later. It's a good question, actually. Okay. Excuse me. So today I want to talk about my program, which is called The Pit. Okay, that sounds really bad. It's called The Pits. It's called The Pits. No, it's called the Pit. It's called Roger Scott Trading Pit. And I want to explain to you, and I want to give you a little background on it, and then explain to you what we do. And at the same time, this is not a promotion as of right now. I want to explain things to you and explain to you how I find stocks, because the way. So let me explain why this is important. The Pit is a room. So, I have several programs, okay? I have a lot of different programs. But one day I said, I would love to show people how I trade and not follow any specific rules like getting in on Monday, getting in on Friday, getting in on Tuesday, getting in when it crosses a line. I want to show them how I trade, right? This is how I really trade, right? And because it's one thing teaching you how to trade, it's one thing showing you how to trade, it's one thing talking about how to trade, and it's another thing placing real trades in real time, right? Like we did on Nvidia this morning in the Pit. So like some of you ask, well, what about Richard? Like, how, Roger, what do you, well, look at the Pit. That's me trading. That's me real time, get in, get out, all of it in real time. I'll talk about how you join in a bit, cause and Raleigh will answer all that for you. Yep. But I wanted you to, so what I did was I didn't know if people were interested in it. I didn't know people, because some people are very structured. So 2 years ago, I wanted to have a little fun. So I decided in the free Telegram channel, the free one, the one that all of you have, I decided to do 160 trades. I don't know why it was 160, but it was during the summer. It was exactly 2 years ago. And I said, folks, these are free trades, and I'm going to just show you how I trade. This is raw, like unfiltered. And I did over the course of, I don't remember, 3 months, I did about 160 trades with a win rate of 96%. Not mostly, but 60% to the short side, 70% to the short side. And I did all sorts of trades. When I say all sorts of trades, I did relative strength trades. I did A-line trades. I did debit spread trades. I did time spread trades and straddle strangle trades. Okay, because those are the primary ways that I've always traded over the last 31 years. Again, this is like just I could do whatever the hell I want in this program. Okay, the program became so after I did those 160 trades that were all in the free Telegram channel, and every entry and exit was timestamped, and we had a 96% win rate. I said, I think people really like this. I think we're going to launch it, and I did, and it became the biggest selling program in the history of
Trading Pub. Yep.
of Trading Pub. Actually, funny that so. I want to now show you how I pick trades for it, why I pick trades for it, what type of trades I do on it, and all the other stuff, what kind of trade I avoid, so you could see exactly what I do, how I do, and all the other stuff. And by the way, since we launched it, we've had a so I do directional trades, and then I do the other kind of trades I'll talk about is bonus trades. The bonus trades have just as high of a win rate as the regular trades, but I don't even count them as part of the program. Our win rate, in case you're curious, we've done over 370 trades, I believe. Don't quote me on 370, maybe 380, 360. Over the last 2 years. That's and another 360 or maybe 400 bonus trades. But again, I don't count the bonus trades. I just give them to you for free. But because I like to use them a lot when markets are dead or there's a holiday week or there's a Fed data. So, and then our win rate has been, since we launched the program, 94.2%. Okay, 94.2. And I have a feeling if I added the bonus trades in there, it would be about 96%. So it's been, oh, Raleigh has the trades right there. Thank you, sir. Well, there you go. So it wasn't 380, it was 381. Well, there it is. So you could see for yourself. That's actual. You can go back and you can go through every one of them. So we do a lot of trades. So I want to show you what we do, how we start in the morning, how I get ready for everything, and show you the whole thing about it. What do you guys think about it? Sounds like a good plan? Does it sound like a good idea?
Mm-hmm.
Is everybody in on it? You guys like it? Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So the first thing I do in the morning is I hang out for an hour with Cam, with Raleigh's brother, and what I do is I come up with my market bias, and I come up with my watch list. Now, why are those two things really, really important? How do we use those two things? Okay, we use those two things to give us a perspective of the market, to give us a kind of I always talk about context, big picture. Well, I'm going to tell you, this is context, big picture. What's contributing to the market? Where are the landfalls? Where are the landmines? Where is the machine guns? Where's the where's the beach with all the beautiful people? Where's the buffet? Where's the easy money? That's what we're doing in that hour. It doesn't cost anything. You guys are more than welcome to come and join us for an hour every morning. We have now over 700 and I don't remember 730 or 740 people coming in. So it's very exciting because that means about 900 are going to come when the fall comes. Because you guys know it's the dead of summer, holiday, all that stuff. So getting back to the story. So I get my perspective, and what it really does, I don't really 741. They're pretty girls, 741 people. It's all there. Everybody's there. Everybody's there. It's a great party. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate it. Bob is my actuary while Dr. Serena's on. She's having some health issues. Anyhow, so that's where I get the bias, market bias. Am I looking at 80-20 downside, 80-20 upside? Am I thinking what sectors am I going to be really looking at? Am I going to be looking at mega caps? Am I looking at bonds? Are cryptos selling up? What's hot? And you guys anybody who comes to that morning shows knows exactly what I am talking about. You guys know exactly what I am talking about, right? We go through the big, and by the time we're done, you know and we don't really get into the nitty gritty. We get into the big story. And then, by the way, as I drive to work, I tell Matt, hey, this is what I'm seeing. So then he kind of gets the summary of that. Okay. So that's what that's all about. Okay. So by the time the market opens, I've got a pretty good idea. I've got a pretty good idea of kind of what I think is going to happen, where I think the market's going to go, how it's all going to play out. And sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. I would say, I don't know, maybe 85% of the time I'm right, 80% of the time I'm right. Not always, not always, but the times that I'm wrong, when I'm right, it makes up for it. So we kind of get a good feel for the market. And then as the day progresses, I'm updating you on the free Telegram channel and in the pit. And sometimes I bust into the Trading Zone Live too. And I go in there as well. I'm in there all the time, actually. And I'll say, this is Roger. And I'll tell you what I'm thinking, if my perspective is different or same as Matt's, whatever not. But I'm pretty much doing that all the time. And as you guys know, in the pit, I'm just giving you trades, telling you why I'm in the trade, telling you when to get out of the trade, all that in great detail. It's kind of a done for you program. So at this point, we have a really good analysis of what the market is going to do. But now we have to find stocks that we like. So what I do is, and I show you guys this every day, and I'm not trying to sell you anything right now at all. I'm just showing you. I use a program called Stock Fetcher. Now, Stock Fetcher is not really useful after the market opens, not because it sucks, because it's delayed. So if you're looking for swing trades that are going to last 3 days, and you're not looking for moment by moment price action, you could use this all day. But if you want to know what's happening right now, and I always want to know what's happening with the daily and then the 5 minute. If the daily doesn't look good, I don't really care about the 5 minute. But if the daily looks great, I want to look at the 5 minute. So this is a really, really good, this filter that Stock Fetcher actually created for me a decade ago. I absolutely love, because it's treating the. Let me explain to you why it's important. And again, I'm not trying to sell bar charts to you. You can make this yourself. But it's treating any given moment in time as that moment in time, even though it's delayed, is the end of the day. You see? So it's not looking at the high of the day. It's looking at the close, at the closing price. So is the closing price, meaning, and it doesn't know when the closing price is. So it's treating any data throughout the day as the closing price. And then eventually the market closes at 4 o'clock, and that ends up being the closing price. So I tried recreating the scanner because there was a preset in TC 2000. So I tried recreating the scanner, and I found out that I wasn't getting these setups, and I really like these ones, specifically the ones I'm getting from Thor. So Brian literally matched up and created. Thank God Brian did this for me. He created one in TC 2000 that literally matches up with these. Okay, so I can have these same ones during the day in real time, which really helps me a lot. But again, these are nuances. These are not make it or breakers kind of things. These are just things that you need, that I look at. I'm trying to be really transparent with you, because I find that when I'm being transparent with you, you tend to follow me more and believe what I'm saying. There's less. I don't have a crystal ball and a magic wand. I have a back scratcher right here that somebody sent me, and I have a crystal ball that T-Bus gave me, but it was made in China and it doesn't work that great. So this is as good as it gets. Pit trades, we issue trades. I try to do 4 to 6 a week. I'll show you some of those trades in a few minutes, so you guys could see exactly how we find. So I come up with a list, and this is this morning's list right here, and I give it to you in the morning show. I actually give you my list, and the list is independent of my market analysis. Whoa, wait a minute! But you always say, Roger, that the stocks and the market have to. Yes, but it doesn't matter. I'm an equal opportunist. I create a long list and I create a short list, and I do it every single morning. You look at my notebook every day, every notebook. One for morning, one for afternoon, one for morning, one for afternoon. I don't even label them anymore. I just do one morning, and I know by where the last one is if it's morning or afternoon. So here's my afternoon one, which we will go through. So I have my morning list, and then the market opens, right? The market's now opening, and then I have my TC 2000, and I start looking at this drill down. Now, I'm explaining to you exactly how I operate the pit every day. These are the steps that I'm going through, okay? These are the steps. So please pay attention, write these down. But I want to make sure you guys understand. And for those of you who are just coming in here, these are the steps that we go through for me to do the pit, okay? So then I start looking at this. And by the way, I post this for you in the free Telegram channel as soon as I come into the office every day. It's the first thing I do every day. Why? Because this tells you if we're right or we're wrong on our analysis, at least out of the gate. Because this will tell you, this screenshot will tell you, hey, we're hyper bullish. Remember, if anything, and what's my rule? If anything's up less than 1% or down less than 1%, it's choppy, 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 choppy. But it's up over 1%. Well, I mean, look, almost everything is up over 1%. This is a really bullish market right now, today. Doesn't mean tomorrow it's going to, but right now, this is a really, really bullish market that we're in. Okay. Really bullish market. Okay. So volume isn't necessarily all that high. It's high in real estate, consumer cyclicals, consumer discretionary, and healthcare. But that's a very hyper bullish market. We're having a really good bounce, and this goes with our theory, as we were talking earlier today. Where's my? Why does life have to be so difficult? What's going on? Okay. This goes hand in hand with what I told you this morning, which was if we break through this line in the morning,
Yep.
that's going to be key one. And key two is we have to break through the 8-day EMA, and we haven't broken through there yet. We haven't gone through there yet. We're close. We're very close. That level is at 630.42, and we're right now at here. We're like a point away, less than a point away. So now we kind of have a good understanding of where the SPY is going. We're looking at that. And then what I start looking is market internals. And I start looking at ADD. And this is really, really important for any kind of trades I do. Why, Roger? I thought you only look at this when you're day trading. No, I'm not necessarily looking at bonds. I'm not necessarily looking at tick. I'm not really even looking at Volt, although I should, but I'm not, because I want to find swing trades. Remember, my job is to find swing trades that turn into day trades. That's how we do. That's how the pit works. But I do look at ADD, and the reason why I'm looking at ADD is this, especially early in the morning. I want to see if there's participation by a lot of stocks, or if this is just a couple of stocks showing their ugly, their head and trying to trick me. See, this is really important because this is telling me that a lot of stocks are trading above yet a Friday's close. A lot of stocks. And usually when you have just a nothing day, a crappy day, a few will open up and it'll just come down and it'll trick you. This is momentum getting stronger as the day is continuing. We opened up near 1300, 1360, I think it was. So this is really, really important. And I look at this. Why else would I look at this? I'll tell you why. And I explained this last week. If market breadth is not big, think about it like this. If you throw let's say somebody's playing a basketball game with you, okay? They throw a basketball out of a balcony, okay? Out of a balcony. And you're dribbling a basketball, and they're on a balcony, and the ball hits the ground. It's gonna have a high rebound, right? If you're dribbling a ball on the ground, your rebound's going to be very, very small. So if you get into a trade and the trade goes against you when the market's up 1,732, that trade can really go against you. But if this is like 200, that means the market's flat. There's no momentum. That means if a trade goes against you, nothing bad's going to happen to you. Remember we talked about this last week where I said it's a double-edged sword. When there's no momentum in the market, you don't have to worry about your stop losses getting hit because there's no momentum in the market. Similarly, if there's no momentum in the market, you're not going to find as many high probability trades because there's no momentum in the market. It's all a double-edged sword. Similarly with ADD. So was at if ADD was at 200 today, I wouldn't feel as good about taking the Nvidia trade, even though Nvidia was above that level, even though Nvidia even though Nvidia was already above the 8-day EMA and the SPY is here. If everything looked the same, but ADD was at 200 and we were here, I'd be like, okay, folks, let's start looking for shorts because there's nothing there. It's just nonsense. But ADD is at 1732. That's a strong ADD. There's buyers buying a lot of broad, wide stocks right now. Am I cautious? Yes. But am I scared? No. There's buyers here. So the ADD gives you a flavor of whether this buying is real or not. And also, we've had some good strong buying today. It's 790. Remember anything over 750? Several times, even in the afternoon, 760, 760, 760. So it's been hitting pretty good too. So we've had the gas pedal and we've had buying. Okay. So the market's looking bullish. The market's looking good. Let's look at stocks. Hey, instead of looking at the stocks I gave you this morning, let's just go fast forward and look at stocks that I like, and I'll show you how I look them to see if I like them for the pit or not. Okay, folks. So far, is this better? Has Raleigh been? I haven't really paid attention to the room. You've been. I can't.
Roger, yeah, it's been,
Oh, there you are.
people once again are just really digging what you're talking about at this point in time. Not many questions have come up. And you know what's interesting? Those that have been posed have been answered by members that are here in the room. I think that's fantastic. I think
Love it.
that's
Love it.
unbelievable. But
All
this
right.
is tying back directly to what you talked about this morning when you were talking about, specifically things that you were looking at a technical level, especially on the SPY. And we've
Yes.
broken through
Yes.
that gap and we're waiting for it to go above the 80 ADMA and why that's important. This is great.
Good. So now we have our trajectory of the stock. It's 10. It's like between 9:30 and 10. I'm kind of waiting for the market to set its tune, and I have my watch list. So, but I've already gave you my morning watch list. So let's just go through the afternoon. That way we can kill two birds with one stone. You can
Perfect.
always get the morning watch list from the morning. So so now I'm not looking anymore at stock fetcher because the market's now open. So I'm looking at my stocks from the open, but I'm now looking at them on two different views. I'm looking at them on a on a 5 minute view. I'm treating this like I'm pretending this is think or swim. I'm trying to make the chart bigger, but I'm forgetting where's think or swim or where's TC 2000. This is the funniest thing, Matt. So, so, so now what I'm doing is I have my list of stocks that already I know really look beautiful on a daily chart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them through my screener since the market's now open because we don't know how they're going to look when the market's open, right? And then we're going to look and see how they look on a daily and see which one are in play to the upside. So the market's bullish. The market's looking really good. I don't feel comfortable taking shorts, although I have a few that I'll go over with you. But let's just let's just go ahead and go through my list right now that I like, and you
Okay.
guys can write these down because these are actual my watch list stocks for the pit right now. Okay, Hood. Okay, all right. Why do I like Hood? Hood is coming back up. It's got a tight range, right? We like the tight range. It doesn't have a lot of back and forth. What is it doing on a 5 minute? It's looking amazing. This thing is, I mean, this is the kind of relative strength we want. So Hood, we're gonna circle it, and earnings not till my birthday. Earnings all the way till my birthday earnings. So nothing really bad there until October 29th. We don't have to worry about that. I'm gonna circle Hood, and the only thing I want to do is I'm gonna add a VWAP to this high right here. The only thing is we need to get above this VWAP. Whenever we're trading a pullback, we always want to put a VWAP at the top, okay? And we want to make sure we're above the VWAP. So it's not above the VWAP, but we're close there. We're very close, and I love this price action. So Hood has a lot of things going up right now to it, okay? Uh, Dash, let's now look at Dash. This is beautiful. This is a beautiful breakout. Um, This thing does not care about the market. It definitely has higher relative strength in the market. The only thing we don't like here, we love the intraday chart. It's looking great. But folks, there's something missing. There's something missing. There's something that's not kosher here. We got earnings in a couple of days. And where's my chart? If we take a peek at the Pro Trader dashboard, we will find that volume is not that high. Volume is not that high. Okay? Volume is not that high, and earnings are coming out in 2 days. I'm a pretty good stock picker, but what if I get stuck for a few days? Do I want to take my chances? I don't think so. So, as much as we like how it looks, unless we're day trading and we don't know right now with the vulnerability in the SPY, we want to cross it out, although we like how it's looking. So let's go to our next one, okay? Now, I knew that volume is low. Okay, now this is a good example of what I was trying to teach you guys last Friday. I don't need the Pro Trader dashboard to tell me that the volume is low, but you guys do. I wasn't even looking at volume and I saw volume was low here and here. But you see, it's one thing looking at here and trying to figure it out, and it's one thing having the Pro Trader dashboard. Where's my Pro Trader dashboard? Don't leave home without it. All daily volume, hourly volume, 30-minute volume, 15-minute, 5-minute volume. So do we want to risk a stock that has earnings in 2 days that has low volume right now on every time frame? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, the charts that I'm showing you right now are taking up my full screen. So if you're not seeing the chart in full screen, that means you need to adjust your Zoom settings or whatnot. Okay?
Hey,
Okay,
Roger, just a real quick question
yes,
here that
yes,
came
yes,
up. So
yes.
for your afternoon stocks, what we call the PM stocks, are you pulling that from the PDD scanner? Is that where you're basically identifying those?
I'm pulling them from the Pro Trader dashboard scanner. Yes.
Okay, yes, that was
Yes.
the question. Okay, good. Thank
Yes,
you.
yes, yes. I use a combination of the Pro Trader dashboard and my TC2000 on the dailies. But yeah, the Pro Trader dashboard, the hourlies and the 5 minutes, as long as you have the dailies, those
Okay.
are those are the keys. Yes, yes. All right. And again, I don't want to take up an hour of these. I want to continue, so I'm gonna quickly go through these. Okay, folks. So you can always watch this on replay. So Ralph Lauren, beautiful daily chart. Earnings, again, we got earnings. Earnings is a problem. Volume is not bad, actually. Volume is actually okay. I could see volume is okay. We'll leave this on our list. We'll kind of just circle it a little bit. Now, I'm doing what I'm showing you right now. I am doing this all day long with the Pro Trader dashboard. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the Pro Trader dash, the scanner. Here, let me just pull that up. And you will learn, promise you something. As you get more experienced with, doing this full time, you're going to find that, hey, you like this platform for this, and you like this platform for that, and you like this for that. And eventually, next thing you know, you're going to be using 5 or 6 different tools. Everybody does that. We all do that. Like Richard was using Thinkorswim. Well, guess what? Now he's using TradingView and he's using Thinkorswim. He's using both of them now. And I don't know, but I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he may have StockFetcher too. I don't know. He's in Disneyland with his family right now. So these are all. So this is what I do during the day. I match these right here and these last half hour of the day with my with my list from the morning and from my TC2000 daily list. And I give you, remember, I give you these for free. I give you the daily list in the morning and in the afternoon. So all you need is this to be able to see if are they coming up on your list.
Hmm.
But we haven't got there yet. That's why we need to get there. We haven't got to that step yet. Okay. I told you I was going to have a lot to teach you today. All right. So we first have to eliminate or include the stock on a daily before going here. We don't want to marry somebody and then find out they're a compulsive gambler, an alcoholic, and they're still married to 3 other people. We don't want that. So before jumping into here, we need to take some precautions. People love to rush. They love to skip steps. But stick with first principles. So the first thing we need to do is we need to make sure this is good and this is good. This we can confirm using this, but this we cannot. This is the daily chart. And I know your handicap without them, so that's why I give them to you twice a day. Once at 8 o'clock in the morning, I give you about 20 of them, and then I give you another set at noon. So you're getting you're getting the big picture from me every day. I'm handing it to you for free every day. So you have no excuses. Then you can just focus on, but I need to show you how I come up with it. And you need to know how the sausage is made.
Yep.
So let's continue. Roblox. No, but it's not really doing that great on an intraday. So it looks okay here, and it never really went below the 8-day. So this may be great for a swing, and it's got great earnings. So I like that. All right. Another stock on my list is RTX. RTX trading above the 8-day, no earnings till the day before my birthday. We're above the 8-day EMA. It's looking great. It's not looking as good as the market. It's losing relative strength to the. Well, actually, let me look at the market right now so I could see. Yeah, it's losing relative strength to the market right now, which means I wouldn't use it for a day trade, but I may swing trade it. If I wouldn't swing trade and day trade something, I would not put it in the pit unless I clearly tell folks this is a swing trade. And usually that doesn't happen until 3:30. So let's go through a couple of more. NVIDIA, 178. You guys should be doing the Chuka dance right now from this morning. By the way, who took... So Raleigh, one of the things I give them this morning is I give them 3 small cap stocks.
Yep.
And I gave them this morning VERB,
Yep.
by the way. VERB.
And it's killing it.
Yep. At 15, to buy above 15. It hit 15 about 20 minutes, half an hour after the open, and then it was off to the races. All right. Good. I'm assuming and that's the way you find those stocks is 180-degree different than you find what I'm showing you right now. Well, if you took it, you should have made 50 about, not 50, actually 40% on your, 25% on your money, 25% on your money. And NVIDIA, yeah, I'm glad you got that. And yeah, Raleigh will repost those in the right area. All right, so let me give you a couple of other stocks that I really like today, and then we'll move on to the second step, the next step, okay? VST, I like how this stock is looking, but it's a little too deviated from the 8-day EMA, and it's got earnings in a couple of days. It's a pretty clean chart, though. Another one is Google. I really like Google here, and it's holding up very, very well. And earnings are not for a while, okay? Let's see. And we're above, oops, hold on. And we're almost above that area where we need to buy the anchor. So this is the process. So all day long, in the pit, all day long, let me just show you what I do. This is the pit, right? And all day I'm saying bonds are breaking out. How's NVIDIA treating you? Take profit on NVIDIA. Take small profit. Here's the next stop lot levels. What the market's doing. Add RTX to your watch list. Belong NVIDIA. Again, I'm showing you. Add Ralph. Remember how we were talking about Ralph Lauren and Google? Well, guess
Yes.
what?
Yep.
Here they are on my watch list right here. How about that's the short list. How about Oracle? We talked about Oracle, didn't we? Oracle is on my watch list. Now, here's my short list. Adobe, CNK, Pizza, and Chewy. Every one of these is on my short list. Okay? So, and again, I talk about, hey, coin is breaking down, but Bitcoin's big. So, VST. Remember, we just added VST to our watch list. DoorDash. Okay? Adding Oracle to the watch list. Not touching anything right now. It's Monday. It's early. Big move on Friday. Fed report in 9 minutes. Too strong of an open for my liking. So again, I'm coaching you throughout. I'm showing you, and I'm explaining to you why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I'm not doing anything. Yeah, well, you would trade when you get the trade. So in this case, you would have gotten a little thing right here. Right here, it says go long NVIDIA, and I teach you which options to buy, and I give you the fill price, and then I tell you when it's time. take profit on Nvidia right here. And then I tell you, hey, if you want to stay in the trade, here's my next profit target and here's my second profit target. And by the way, I think it hit our second profit target already. Let's see. Yes, it did. So the alert is right here and it's time stamped. So you could see right here, I take small profit and I told you the levels right here at 11:35 and it's now 12:44 and it hit that level about 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, 178.74. Okay? So again, and I'm choreographing everything step by step. So that's how we find stocks in the pit. We use the Pro Trader dashboard to confirm that the short-term trade is moving on. Then what I do is I either buy the breakouts or I wait for the stock to get back to the VWAP. Okay? All right? So I do all that for you in the pit. So, and again, what I love about the pit is I get to do the kind of trades that I do myself. It's me being me. Okay? It's just, this is me. This is the way I trade. Now, all the other trades, the time spreads, we do bonus time spreads. Time spreads is a trade that we do during earnings season, and it's the only way to trade earnings. And it gives you the ability to make money on earnings, not one way, but 5 different ways. Okay. And it gives you a much better probability of success. You're basically trading earnings like a market maker. What you're doing is you're buying next week's expiration and you're selling this week's expiration. So your exposure is what you pay, but your profit is literally unlimited on this type of a trade. I'm going to give the link to the pit in a little while. Raleigh will take care of all that for you. But I wanted you guys to understand those type of trades. Then let's say that we have a Fed announcement, right? Or we have announcement on a stock that where we don't know where it's going to go, and it's moving a lot. It's moving more than one ATR. It's moving like 2-3 ATR in a single day. We may do a straddle on it or a strangle, which means we buy the call and we buy the put, and we wait for an explosion. Okay, for an explosion. So let's kind of summarize what I talked about, and tomorrow I'll talk more about the pit. Now, I want to answer 2 questions that somebody asked me specifically, and they asked me how I use the watch list to identify pit trades. I've already answered that question. The second one, how I used volume profile. So that's very, 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 very simple. Let me show you. The volume profile is really important, and in this particular context, not for day trades. In this particular context, it's very, very important to me, and I'll explain to you why. What I want to see is, so let me just move this to the side. What I want to see is, I want to see where my VWAP is on the SPY in comparison to the 5-day point of control. And I want to see which one is higher. And let me explain to you what that means, okay? Write this down. If the 5-day point of control is above the VWAP, okay, 5-day, and in this case it is, that means we have to be very, very careful going long right now, because it's telling us that the 5-day average volume is at that most of the trade is near 636, and we're below there. Okay, so if the 5-day point of control is below the VWAP, which is above the VWAP, which it is right now, this is at 636, and this is at 628. So what it's telling us is the market is very vulnerable right now. There's 5 days worth of trading activity at 636, and there's not even 1 day of trading activity at the VWAP, which means we're very vulnerable. If the VWAP was above 636, that would mean we have a lot of foundation underneath us. You understand? So we want to know if the vulnerability exists to the upside or the downside. So, and basically you would want the 20-day point of control to be below the 5-day, and the 1-day point of control to be above this day. And it's not right now. It's still not. We still have an imbalance between price areas, okay? Very, 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 very important. Very, 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 very important. So I answered your question. I believe your name was Kevin. I think your name was Kevin. If not, I apologize. Now, so tomorrow, I will show you during this session. I'm going to show you during this session how we find options for each of these type of scenarios. Okay, which is going to be very important. Now, what I'm going to do right now is I am going to Matt. Can you post a link to the Zoom room? I mean, excuse me, to the YouTube channel, and let them know, please, that they need to vacate and come into the regular room right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a cool class for you. Okay. This will encapsulate everything that we just discussed and put it all together for you in perspective. I haven't done this in a very, very long time. This is the first time I'm doing this. Now, again, to summarize, the pit is the program where I'm the only guy. Matt doesn't come into the pit. The pit is Uncle Roger's. I do trades in there. When I was on vacation, I did not do any trades in the pit. Now, you're probably asking, Roger, why should we listen to you? Well, I'm going to show you something right now. Let me show you something. I'm going to give you a good reason why you should pay attention to me. See, that's the guy who helps me out in this room. He's the featured trader, and he's really good at what he does. Okay. And this is last week. Look at what he was doing last week. A winner, a winner, a winner, another winner, another winner, another winner, and we don't know about this one yet. All right. Now, look what he does on the weekends, this guy. Hangs out and watches TV while I'm trading. But we haven't had a losing trade since I came back from Europe, which was a month ago. And I think this year we've had 4 losing trades. I think we've had 4 losing trades this year, maybe 5. I don't know. It sounds silly even talking about it. In the 2 years that we've been running the program, we've had 359 wins out of 381 trades. This is where I get to be myself. Okay. Some of you like it. Some of you don't like it, but it's the most successful program, I believe, in the pub, and I'm going to talk about it right now. And Matt, folks, if you are in YouTube, please vacate and go into the Zoom room. Okay, this is where we're going to be doing this presentation right now. All right. On that
Yeah,
note,
so Roger, real
yes,
quickly, once again,
yes,
just before we move into that, if you don't mind, several people, they came in just a little bit late at the tail end of your discussion of the Volt. Could you take another minute and just share with people how you use the Volt
yes, I
as you're
can.
looking
Yeah.
for opportunities? And then I think that'll set the table nicely to move into the pit.
Yeah. That's a great one. I love the Volt. So let me just find my Volt. Let me find my Volt. I have so many different things that I have on my charts that it's hard sometimes
I can imagine.
to find the Volt, you know? I mean,
There it is.
there it is. Yeah, so this is the Volt. And when the Volt is so the Volt measures the number volume. It measures uptick volume versus downtick volume. This is the Volt. I don't really pay attention to the right side. So I don't really care if it's coming up from a negative level. In other words, I'm looking at what it's doing and not what level it's at. Now, there may be something to looking at it on a level basis, but in all of my years, I've never found any correlation. I've only just noticed if it's moving up, the market's going to move up. If it's moving down, but this is a clean trend. You see this? This is a really clean trend. And look what happens. This is moving up. The SPY starts deviating. It moves down. And what happens? It comes right back to the Volt. The Volt, it's like a magnet for the SPY. So you could make a lot of money, and a lot of people in my space make a lot of money just trading the divergence between Volt and the SPY. And by the way, I'm the only guy, I don't know anybody else that does that. But I mean, people that I've taught, they make a lot of money just trading divergence between this. But the way we use Volt for swing trades is very, very simple. The way we use the Volt is we want to see if the Volt is moving directionally, and we want to see if the Volt is starting to peak out or not, or if the SPY is moving with the Volt, or if it's diverging for the Volt. If you see the SPY moving down and you see a clean trend like this in the Volt, the odds are about 90%. Richard will tell you 99.9%, but I was about 90% then the SPY will just snap back to the Volt. Never the other way around. Never bet on the SPY. Always bet on the Volt. And I find out over time that's been a very, very, very clean thing. Now, if I'm seeing, here's where it all comes together. Now, let's say the ADD is at 200, but the Volt looks like this. I'm going to be very skeptical that this trend is going to last long. Why? Because there's no participation. So the fact that the Volt is really strong and ADD is really strong gives me a double whammy that this is a really strong trend day to the upside. Now all we need to do is move above the 8-day moving average on a daily. Okay? Hopefully that helped.
No, that was fantastic, Roger. And then another quick question that came in here, Roger, to the best of your knowledge, do we have any open trades in the pit at this point in time?
We have a bonus trade. We have
A
a
bonus
bonus
trade.
bonus
Okay.
trade. Bonus trade. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We have a bonus trade. Yeah. That's about it. And that was the one I gave on Friday. The one I gave on Friday, and that one more likely than not, unless something drastic happens, is not going to turn around. And
Yes.
that's why I gave it to you a very, very cheap trade. And that was a speculative trade. But again, I mean, some will work out, some will not. But official trades will say official trade. Bonus trades will say bonus trades.
We'll say bonus
Very,
trades.
very, very
So,
clear on that. Very,
So,
very
guys,
clear.
as we move into this next session, we're going to be turning off the chat for everyone. And the reason why we do that is that people are going to be sharing private information with us and things of that nature, and we need to keep that private. So, as we're moving from the VIP room now to this presentation on the trading pit, we're going to go ahead and you can still ask questions, and I will see them, Roger and Matt will see them, and we'll address them either during the presentation or at the end.
Exactly. See how smooth this is? And I'm not frustrated. I'm not upset. I'm not doing this every 5 seconds. I could just focus on teaching people, and it's very, very nice. And Raleigh will take care of all your questions. And remember, folks, I have a perfectly good email address. So, folks, please pay attention. This is, as I said, this is my favorite. This is a program where I get to do whatever I want. And so far, I'll give you. I forgot to mention. I totally forgot. I'm going to give you my updates for crude oil, end of the year levels, my favorite stocks. This is the quarter. This is like the end of month update, but you got to wait till the end. I've updated all of my predictions. So not only are you going to hear about how I trade the pit and all about the pit, but you're going to hear all about my updated predictions. But you got to give me about half.